Once upon a time, in a kingdom far, far away, there lived a beautiful princess named Snow White. Her skin was as white as snow, her lips as red as roses, and her hair as black as ebony. Snow White's mother had passed away when she was very young, and her father, the king, had remarried a woman who was as beautiful as she was cruel. This new queen, Snow White's stepmother, had a magic mirror. Every day, she would ask the mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And the mirror would always reply, "You, my queen, are the fairest of them all." But one day, when Snow White grew older and more beautiful, the mirror gave a different answer. "Snow White is the fairest of them all," it said. The queen was filled with jealousy and rage. She ordered a huntsman to take Snow White into the forest and get rid of her. The kind huntsman couldn't bear to harm Snow White, so he let her go and told her to run far away. Deep in the forest, Snow White found a little cottage belonging to 7 dwarfs. She knocked on the door, and the kind-hearted dwarfs welcomed her in. She told them her story, and they agreed to let her stay with them, as long as she helped with chores around the house. Meanwhile, the evil queen, thinking Snow White was gone, asked her mirror once again, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" To her shock, the mirror replied, "Snow White, living with the 7 dwarfs, is the fairest of them all." Furious, the queen disguised herself as an old woman and set out to find Snow White. She offered her a poisoned apple, and when Snow White took a bite, she fell into a deep sleep, as if she were dead. When the dwarfs returned home, they were heartbroken to find Snow White lying still and pale. They laid her in a glass coffin, and each day they stood by her, mourning her loss. One day, a prince who had heard of Snow White's beauty came to the forest. When he saw her in the coffin, he was filled with sorrow. Gently, he kissed her on the forehead, and to everyone's amazement, Snow White awoke. The prince and Snow White soon fell in love and were married in a grand celebration. The evil queen, upon hearing this, was so consumed by her own jealousy that she vanished from the kingdom, never to be seen again. Snow White and the prince lived happily ever after, and the dwarfs remained her dear friends, visiting the palace often to share in the joy and laughter that filled their days.